Hello and welcome back. My name is Amanda Howard. I'm a criminologist, a podcast host and a true crime author. I am putting together a whole list of my top 10 serial killers by body counts. This is actually part of a series I've been doing on our podcast, which is called Monsters Who Murder. And I'm just sort of breaking down details of some of these cases. Now, you're expecting to see Harold Shipman and people like that. They don't even come close to these top serial killers. And I'm actually at number 7 now. So this is actually a German case. And if you want to know more details about this, I actually go into more detail on the podcast. But number 7 is the German baby farming gang led by Heinrich Gericke, known as the Velpe Children's Home case. So this is about a case which is also a war crime. And this was in a 2-year period between 1944 and 1945. The group actually faced court in March and April 1946, and 462 Polish babies died at this home for children. So what would happen is that the Polish people were sort of congregated and taken, and those that could work, were old enough to work, were actually sent out to do their work and basically slave labor, and younger children were actually taken to these homes for children where they were supposed to be cared for and looked after, so then the adults could continue to work and some of the children as well. But what happened is that they completely neglected these children. They weren't given any food, they weren't given any sustenance, and they actually all died of neglect, as well as some injuries and things like that. So like those in the concentration camps, the children in these homes were actually left to basically die as well. And these 8 people were actually sent to a war crime commission purely because this was considered a war crime, because it was Polish children being looked after by German Nazi soldiers and nurses and doctors that were actually brought in. Now, these homes actually were basically tin sheds. There was no heating, there was no running water, there was not anywhere near sufficient amount of food. So they were basically just a place that these poor Polish children and babies were actually sent to die. So in total, 462 died in this one home. Now, there is no doubt in my mind there was others of these children's homes for Polish babies all around Germany and around Poland, and that they were actually used as basically a slower detention concentration camp for that than the adults were actually sent to. So there was a lot of trials about this one case, but there has been suggestions of the others, but these 8 people were actually sentenced to death for their crimes. So anyway, I hope you like that. That was my number 7. So I have 6 more serial killers to actually go through. As you can see from things like this, it's not always about those sexual serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy. It is about those that come under the umbrella of a serial killer, which is someone who kills multiple times in multiple different places with a cooling down between each one. So even things like this, where these babies are dying over and over again, that actually is considered a serial killer case, even though there was a group of them doing it, and it was more through neglect than violence, but they still allow these children to die at their watch. They were found guilty of murder, so therefore these are multiple murders, therefore this is a serial killing. So I hope you liked this. I have a lot more to come. Please give a thumbs up. Please give a subscribe button press. And if you can give a comment too, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm also available on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and everything else as well. So if you can find me, that's great. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.